Sono stars masani loud corazón. Cuando el alma solo tengo soledad, desejando por no verte, porque Dios me hizo guerrete para hacerme sufrir más. Siempre fuiste la razón de mi existir. Adorar para mí fue una religión. En tus besos yo encontraba el calor que me brindabas, el amor y la pasión. Es la historia de un amor como no hay otro igual, que me hizo comprender todo el bien, todo el mal, que le dio luz a mi vida, apagándola después. Ay, qué vida tan oscura, sin tu amor no viviré. Simple fuiste la razón de mi existir. Adorarte para mí fue una religión. En tus besos yo encontraba el calor que me brindaba, el amor y la pasión. 我的心里只有你，没有他。你知道我的情意有他，只有你才是我梦想，只有你才是我牵挂，从来不是为了他。只有你才是我梦想，只有你才是我牵挂，从来不是为了。
46届金马奖颁奖典礼的时候，桃子主持人出来唱了这一条歌，西班牙歌。因为当年有部电影里面的这个配乐就是这条歌。桃子没有学过西班牙文，她可能唱不到。里面的歌都是里面，刚才你有看到一个在弹吉他，一句一句教他出来。 教桃子唱，我们今天就请这个教他唱歌的人，刚才偶尔有出现一下，巴拉圭籍的 Roberto Zayas， Maestro， 来鼓掌一下。他已经来台湾很久了，啊，在全世界各地流浪，没想到在台湾定下来，找了一个台湾老婆。 上次有来，这次没来。不要我讲，听他唱，听他介绍所有的歌曲，每一条歌都跟你讲背后的故事。
Okay, hello everybody. Good afternoon. I will try to speak a little bit中文。我在很久的时候中文还很差。Sorry. Okay. I think this lecture is for all those who are interested about Latin American studies, right? Even 有去拉丁美洲的国家的文化，是不是适用吗？不是。 Okay. Okay. Anyway, this kind of lecture that we do is for you to open your mind a little bit and to understand maybe a little bit of Latin American culture or Latin American people, also places, a little bit of history, and of course the art. That is the part that I know most. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? Wow, great. That's great. So then you will know some words in Spanish also, and you practice your English now, and I can practice my Chinese. I'm part of it. And first of all, I would like to play one song so you don't sleep, okay? Don't fall asleep. If you sleep in this chair, ni me voy a Okay, the song is from Brazil, and this song has been composed by one guy called Antonio Carlos Jobim. I don't know if you heard him, but I hear about him because we are too young. You know, 现在你们的歌都是完全不一样。可是你们应该也是有的时候可以去看一下，以前的东西 ，history，以前的文化、音乐、architect，everything, because that is what actually you have now, what brings you now. So you will find that every architect studied from before. Historians, they study history from before. And that is what we build it. In politics, the same. You have to learn about what happened before with human beings. So you would know that, oh, today maybe we can improve. We can improve this. We can improve it. We can make it better. In music, it's the same thing. In music, even more. In art, everything is a development of something. There is nothing that out of the blue something happened. You each other and you can your shan chance. Oh, you can entirely high that 突然做一个完全新的东西哦。我觉得这个没有那个，没有这个。Everything in this world is just an improvement, copy of what it was. Okay? Bach was a great musician, but he was a guy who just took something from that time and improved the music, so become his own very particular sound, particular composition. And the same thing happened in politics, right? We become, before was all kingdoms and blah, 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 you know, and then the imperialist time, all that time. And then we become, one day, the freedom, more democratic, but actually we are not 100% democratic, we know that. Still, I think we got a long way to go. Because the first thing to improve something is you never close your mind to anything. You have to open your mind. You have to accept first that. And that is very hard. That's why we are human beings. We are just another kind of animal that we are better than the dog, but it's still far away to be really a perfect thing. No, we are very far from that. We need to improve a lot still. Like people get angry, get violent, they don't accept ideas of other people. And this is something that we need to improve. So it's the only way that is going to lead us to a better world. We're going to have maybe your grandson is going to be a little bit better than now. Maybe. Let's see. we don't know yet. But in many things, Today, still I can see in many places in the world, or almost anywhere, you can see people that suffer, people who has a lot of problems, and it's hard for them to accept something. Right? So that is really the terrible part of human being. So in art, in music, is the same thing. Antonio Carlos Jobim, now I'm going back again to the beginning of the story. Antonio Carlos Jobim was a person who was studying like you guys, okay, in university in Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, has a very strong culture background. And they have a lot of different kind of people, like almost all America. But all the continent of America, we are not the original people. We are not. The original people are the Aborigines, right? Like everywhere, almost everywhere, the same. But even the Aborigines also, they were people who have been going from one place to another. 他们一直跑啊，不是也是原来的，他们本来也是别的地方有来这样子，有跑到很多地方。So, what's happened in Brazil is that you have the Aborigines, okay, the people from the native people. You got from the other side, the slaves, the black people that came from Africa, brought by the Portuguese. Because as you know, this is another part of the injustice and terrible thing that's happened in the past. That human being used human being as a slave. Another human being. This is the most terrible thing that somebody can do. You should never bring somebody, force somebody or anything. You could talk about it, you could discuss about it, and see if the other person accepts your ideas. You can work together and improve. That is the way to do things in life. But in the past it was not like that. And many Europeans, most of them, including people from Holland, the British, the German was not too much, they never traveled too much, but the French, Italian, Portuguese, Spanish, they all has their own period of time in history. So, when they brought the Aborigines, the slave from Africa, they brought all to Brazil, for example, because they thought that they need a lot of labor. And the Aborigines were too hard. The Aborigines were very smart people in their way. The personality, why these people come here and they want to force us? We don't force each other, because the Aborigines, they don't force each other. They can fight for areas like animals, you know? They want to mark the area because they think that they have to survive. It's a surviving thing, very different than what they were doing at that time, the Europeans. That was not surviving. They were trying to push people and suppress them and take, so they can make more money, right? Okay. So when they came to Brazil, they brought a lot of slaves there. And then they mixed with the Aborigines. So we got now the Aborigines and we got the slaves, right? The black people. And they mixed sometime. At the beginning it was hard because they both are so different. The Aborigines say, oh, these black people are so different. And the black people also, the Aborigines are completely different. completely different. And even we are, as a human, we think that sometimes we are too different. At the end, we can find out that we are all the same. We are all brothers. We came, even now many universities, they study the genes, the genes. I don't know how to say in Czech, genes. Oh, okay. Yes. So they find out now that there is no race. This is a new discovery, and this is very important. That means we're all the same. We came from the same thing. We are all the same. We are just a mixture. We all blend together. We are all the same. So we are all brothers. So why are we fighting? Why people always try to find differences? It's terrible, right? Well, that was what's happening in Brazil also, So they start to fight the black people, Aborigines, and the worst one, the Portuguese at that time, right? The Portuguese, they actually pushed all these people to work in mines, because in Latin America was so rich in gold, silver, and many other natural sources, And all these natural sources, for centuries, they suck all from Latin America and they brought to Europe. So, if you see the history in Europe, 你们可以看他们的家，他们的那个castle这么漂亮 everything was gold, All that gold, all the silver you see in castle, in palaces, in all the churches, all that treasure was brought from Latin America. And that was very unfortunate. But the people who really was working, they were dying there. Usually they die about 25 years old to 30 years old, It was so terrible because they work in the mine. And they had to, they had to smell that terrible metal. It's coming from, 反正我碰这个东西，就是一个见得非常不好，很可怜。There is one famous writer， 如果你们可以看一下那个 Google， 他的名字是 Eduardo Galeano， 是乌拉圭人 Eduardo Galeano， 他有写一个书 very interesting book that is going to be very useful for you guys because you are young and you can open your mind about and you can see the history and you can understand a lot of them. It's called Las Venas Abiertas de Latinoamérica, means the open veins of Latin America, because all Latin America was a beautiful place, but then it's open the vein and all the blood came out. That the essence of it. That writer 这个人他写的东西非常聪明，非常棒的。因为你们可以看 YouTube， 他过世好像3年以前，他非常聪明。Everything what he said is like a wisdom. It's amazing the way he thinks. But he was very open mind. He searched everything. So if you can, you should try to read that from that writer. Eduardo Galeano, this is his name. Well, and he was writing about Brazil of that time. Okay, that time. The era that it was hard. Well, what's happened when they mix? The Europeans tried to. They tell the slaves and the Aborigines also that they cannot use the music because the music are from devil. Because for the European was something completely new too. But the Europeans, instead of being more open-minded, was the reverse. They didn't accept anything from their culture. And they pushed them and obligate them to become like the European. No, you must believe in Jesus Christ. You're animals. You're blah, 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 you know, into Chikatoshi. The Aborigines, the native people, they believe in a beautiful God, in nature. They have a completely different way of thinking. They only kill animals to eat, and they eat mostly vegetables, vegetables, fruits and all that. While the European was a completely different thing, And the black people also, their gods are different. Some of the gods want you to young, right? So it's a very interesting thing, what happened there. When they mix together, these different cultures that are completely different, somehow, through the years, they blend together. As this is a natural forces. They say that with time, everything always get together. Even if you refuse, even if you don't accept, even whatever, everything, one day, it will. So this is natural. So you have to be aware of that. You have to be smart, open your mind for that, and see what is the best way, not the worst way. So when this happened, these people start to blend, start to come up something beautiful, and that was the Brazilian music. Antonio Carlos Jobim was a university student, middle class, not rich, but he was not poor. Okay? But he was very smart, and he saw so many injustice in Brazil. And he didn't like that. He always fight against that kind of thing, Like most of the artists, they somehow see injustice in different way. And they can catch things earlier than other kind of people because they are very sensitive. They have another point of view. You guys also should do that, like a practice, It's a very important thing to practice. When you meet a friend, when you study something, go the other way and try to learn that kind of thing, okay? Well, Antonio Carlos Jobim, this composer, finally get a little bit of the Afro rhythm, a little bit of the Afro rhythm was from the black people, a little bit of the Aborigines also, but because he was a Portuguese descendant, white people, he got a very strong studies in classical music and stuff, so he can think clearly what are the different in music. So then, with one group of students, they used to get together and they said, we should try to do a music that represents us for now. Because the music of before was different. The Afro was very wild. The Aborigines was very world kind of thing, Some people, they couldn't accept much. So he makes all this rhythm and he created the bossa nova and he changed the samba rhythm, which samba was from Bahia, originally more from the black people. I don't know if you know any. That kind of rhythm, right? Very wild, a lot of drums, very wild. That was the Afro, very Afro. And the Aborigines music is something different, completely different. They use their own instrument, like a very repetitive rhythm. So they mix all this kind of different rhythm together. But he started to do something softer and with different harmony. Even without harmony is the same, right? Well, I will make you a little, I will make a little light indication of what if musically you can understand. The notes in music, okay? When one note follow the other note, like a ting, tung, ting, tung, ting, tung, it's a melody, right? But at the same time, that called scale. Scale, because the notes are in different places. Ting, ting, tan, tung, ting, 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 tung, tan, that is a scale, okay? For example, right? This is a scale. But now, if I put this note, example again, I put all together, it will become this at once. So all these notes that were one after another, you put together all together and become a chord. When the chord is a form in different degree in music, the first, the third, the fifth, blah blah blah, and that we call chord, but that is harmony, okay? So this is very important. So you got the harmony. The three elements in music is harmony, which is that, and rhythm. What is rhythm? It's the time from one note to the next one. And that for the rhythm is very important. How long is that note and the exhale? Example like this is a rhythm already. Why? Because means the first note is a little long, the second one is shorter, and the third one is even longer. Well, that is better. Now, if I do the I make an exit, right? So I got different rhythm. That is what it's called rhythm in all different style of music. So that happens in rock, in classical, in jazz, in Latin, and whatever. Okay? This is a little explanation. So Antonio Carlos Jobim, he makes all this and make the music of samba and bossa nova in different way. So now I'm going to play one song that he composed called One Note Samba. Means that one note samba, because he used one note, but the harmony are all different. One note with different harmony. So he used that. So it's very important. Do you listen? Sound maybe stupid, right? But it's not. If you change the challenge of doing this kind of music is that you have to find an interesting harmony for every note. Then it's very hard. Or you can tell in this piece what's happening in this song called One Note Samba. You can hear that from many singers, many groups, many bands. You can search on YouTube or something. Maybe you will find interesting version.